Can I be honest? The Lion King. As you guys know, it was a 1994 movie. It's an instant classic. It was the highest grossing animated movie of all time until Toy Story 3 came around in 2010. So it held the record for 16 years. That's a really long time for a movie to hold a record. And The Lion King, I saw when I was a kid. Before I saw the new Lion King, I saw the old Lion King again. And it was really good. Like, really, really amazing. So, hello, my name's SM22, and welcome to SM22 Reviews. We are reviewing The Lion King today. The original, still amazing. So, I went into this not expecting all too much. I expected it to be an HD version of the original, I guess. Just one that looked more live action as opposed to, obviously, the old one is a cartoon. And yeah, the old one still looks good today by today's standards, but you could redo it to make it look better, and I feel like for the most part they did. The way that the animals look is really realistic. It looks really good, actually. Like, I went into it thinking to myself, okay, maybe they'll look good, but they won't look like real animals. They do. Like, if you didn't know that it was all CGI, you would walk into this thinking, how did they train all those animals to do that? I saw this movie with my dad. He actually asked me, hey, do you think any of this was live action filmed? And I was like, no, I don't think so. I think it's all CGI. And it is. It's really amazing to think about it, just how good the CGI is. So, and that it gets a really good pass right there. It's pretty good. And how could there be spoilers for The Lion King? I mean, literally everyone's seen this movie, but if you haven't seen The Lion King, no spoiler warning, I guess. Probably one of the best looking scenes is the Scar versus Simba fight at the very end. Like, that scene, it looks really good, especially with the fire behind him and everything. It was one of the best looking scenes in the animated version, so I expected it to be one of the best looking scenes in this version, and it did look really good. It looked amazing. And there were some points where it did look like it was CGI, and that wasn't the best, but it was something that we could expect, because I was kind of expecting to think that it was gonna have some moments where it was like, oh, that's obviously CGI, because it just would look a little jank. But that happened maybe like 10 to 20 seconds out of the entire movie. So, looks-wise, it's looking pretty good. Sound-wise, the soundtrack is still good as always. It's actually probably better than the last one, because they still have all of the original songs now, with better auto-tune and stuff to put into it. They add an extra song or two, and it sounds pretty good. James Earl Jones reprises his role as Mufasa. He was really good as well. Like, I mean, James Earl Jones is one of the best voices ever. He voiced Darth Vader. He voiced Mufasa. Those two voices right there are iconic. So, him coming back was kind of like, it was, you can't see Mufasa without seeing James Earl Jones. Just like you can't see J. Jonah Jameson without J.K. Simmons. It's kind of like that. They're that intertwined. So, his line work was also good. Donald Glover as Simba. At first I was kind of like, okay, I guess, but he does sound a lot like the original, so that is pretty good. There are two characters where I have a problem with their voice. The first one is kind of controversial. Beyonce as Nala. Now, Beyonce's an amazing singer, don't get me wrong. Her singing voice, it's angelic, but her singing voice, not her singing voice. Yeah, her singing voice is amazing. Wait. But her voice, like voice actor voice, is kind of, it's not, I can tell she's giving it her all, but when it comes to like voicing a character, you have to act as if you are the character. And if I could close my eyes and just listen to the way that she was talking as Nala, I wasn't seeing Nala. And with everyone else, I was hearing that. I was hearing their character as opposed to them. But with Beyonce, I wasn't really hearing that. Like, let me know if you guys have a different opinion on it. But that's how I perceived it, and that's how I think it's going to be perceived by the general public as a whole, I guess. And probably one of my favorite castings, Seth Rogen as Pumbaa, and he sounds good. I think he's the only character that got a probably an upgrade in voice, because I don't know who voiced Pumbaa before, but I didn't really like his voice too much. But I really liked Seth Rogen as Pumbaa. It was hilarious. Anyway, the second character that I didn't like their voice was baby Simba. And mostly because he sounded annoying and like a little girl. He sounded like a little girl. And not that there's anything wrong with that. It's just his voice was kind of annoying. And we did have to hear his voice for a lot of the movie. So I was like, ugh, alright, fine. And, you know, so nothing, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't enough to make me not like the first act of the movie. But, I mean, it could have gone better in that department. Okay, so, story-wise, this is where we really get into spoilers. It's exactly the same as the original. I would say 90% of the movie is literally a copy-paste from the original. And normally, that would be just fine, but it doesn't give this remake any real value. Like, when it comes out on digital or on Blu-ray or whatever, if I have the option to choose one of them, I would choose the original, because this new remake is basically the same thing. Like, the only thing that the remake has over the original is Spirit. The Spirit song. That's about it. And the Spirit song, like, it's okay, I guess. I mean, it does have different voices, and it's a little longer because it gives the hyenas a little bit more character? I get character, as in they focus on one hyena and he gets like 5 minutes extra screen time. I literally saw these movies. Like, I saw the original Lion King last week, and then I saw this one today on Wednesday. So, both of them are fresh in my mind, and most of the thing was the same. Literally, the biggest difference was that Rafiki, the old monkey man, he didn't have a stick for the first half of the movie. Literally, when Simba came back to fight Scar, he ran to his tree, he pulled out his stick, he's like, "Hello, old friend." What? He's supposed to have a stick the whole time. And he doesn't. Why doesn't he have a stick the whole time? They don't explain it. Why does he see the stick as his old friend when he should have just had it the whole time? Because he did in the original. They don't explain it. Why didn't he have it, even though it's like, that's like the most minute thing to change? They don't explain it. You know. And that's what I mean, it's like minor, but why did they make that change? If they're going to keep everything else the same, then just don't change the thing that would really freak people out. You know, that's something that, like, psyched me out the whole movie. I was like, why does he not have his stick? When he finally grabbed the stick, I was like, oh, cool. But why didn't he have the stick? And, I don't know. It was confusing. But, I mean, I went into it, like, just thinking it would be okay. Because it's directed by Jon Favreau, and he also directed The Jungle Book. And The Jungle Book movie is the remake. The Jungle Book remake is the one Disney remake that I think is leagues better than the original. The remake of The Jungle Book is so much better than the original. The original sucks. I'm just going to say that. The original just isn't that good. Sound-wise, it's terrible. But, like, The Jungle Book remake was good, and Jon Favreau made that good. So I thought he would change it. Change the whole premise thing. Not the entire premise, but, like, change at least most of it, like they did with The Jungle Book, into Lion King. But it's the same thing! It's the same thing! And yeah, they didn't change too much of Jungle Book, but with Jungle Book it was acceptable, because kids don't give a damn about no Jungle Book, because, you know, Lion King is something that, like, their parents grew up with, but Jungle Book is something that your grandparents would have grown up with, because it came out in, like, the 50s, and, you know, just no one really cares about the... I don't like the Jungle Book movie, the original. I really don't like it. I think it's pretty dumb. And that's mostly just because I don't like Mowgli. But they made Mowgli a good character. So why didn't they change it in The Lion King enough to make Simba, especially as a child, a good and really good character? They gave Scar a bit more of, like, evilness, I guess. But why? why just change the small things that don't really matter? They didn't even change Scar too much. They just gave him like an additional few lines to exemplify how evil he is, I guess. I don't know. And just, I mean, it sucks because that's just the problem with Disney remakes. I'll make a video on the problem with Disney remakes in the future. But just know, I would say go see this new Lion King movie just to get a different look of the Lion King. Because that's basically what you're getting. You are paying to see the Lion King HD. That's it. That's like, you know how the Final Fantasy VII remake is so much different from the original Final Fantasy game? Yeah, no. This is like just HD porting Final Fantasy VII, the original. It's good, but why didn't they change it to make it better? If they went through the problem and all the trouble of putting it to HD, then change it up a bit more, make it more accessible to more people. And with The Lion King, it's like the original is still so good. If they made it even if they didn't make it better, if they made it different in some way, then you'd have a real choice. Like, should I watch the 1994 version or the 2019 version? For example, good example, Aladdin. Okay, the Aladdin remake, it's okay. It's alright, I guess. It's fine. Okay, I still prefer the original. But they changed enough to say, hey, I like this original, but the 2019 version has enough differences for me to weigh it. But with Lion King, they don't do that. They don't give you the option. They just say, just go see the original. It's better. It's not even better. It's the same thing. Same thing. So, do you want an HD version or the nostalgia version? And I can guarantee you, people will choose the nostalgia version. So I give this movie a 6 out of 10. And that's mainly because I thought they would do more with it. Even though I expected it to be good, and it is, but it didn't do enough to satisfy me in the end. Alright, thank you guys so much for watching this review. I really do appreciate it. If you guys want to watch more reviews, go and look in the description. There's a link to a playlist of all my SM22 reviews where I just review a lot of things, and I want to do that more in the future. So please go and watch them. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you guys think about The Lion King, the original, the 2019 version, the differences between the two that I somehow missed, and which one you prefer. I personally prefer the original, and I don't think that'll ever change. So, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Stay schvinky. Mrs. Dabney on those haters.